One minute you're walking on the ocean floor, the next minute you're kayaking on the same spot. Well, not exactly the next minute, a few hours after. This is the wonder of the Bay of Fundy, home to the highest tides in the world. In this video, I'll take you along with me to witness both low and high tides, and I'll share 5 tips to help you make the most of your experience. Tip number 1, entry tickets are valid for 2 consecutive days. That means you can see low tide on one day and come back the next for high tide. I'll catch both in one day if you're willing to wait about 6 hours. I decided to see both low and high tide on the same day. Low tide on this day was at 10:50 a.m. and high tide at 4:45 p.m. Tip number 2, the walk from the parking lot to the rocks takes about 15 minutes. There's also a shuttle available for $2 each way. Definitely worth it if you're planning to see both low and high tide on the same day. I will be going back and forth. Tip number 3, make sure to check the official tide tables before you go. Tides change every 6 hours or so and the timing varies daily. Also, plan to arrive at low tide if you want to walk on the ocean floor. The park staff start guiding people up towards the stairs a couple of hours before high tide rolls in, so don't cut it too close. The Bay of Fundy is located between New Brunswick and Nova Scotia and experiences the world's highest tides, rising up to 16 meters every day. At low tide, you can literally walk on the ocean floor, and at high tide, you can kayak over areas that were dry land just hours ago. During high tide, water flows into the bay from the Atlantic Ocean. Once it peaks, the tide turns and water begins to flow back out. This dramatic change in tides boils down to the narrow V shape of the bay, tidal resonance effect, and volume of water. So, the bay is shaped like a giant funnel. It's wide at the mouth but gets narrower and shallower as it extends inland. So when the ocean water rushes in with the tide, it gets squeezed into a smaller space, forcing the water to rise higher and higher. It's almost like squeezing a garden hose. The pressure builds and the water surges upward. But here's what blows my mind. During low tide, you would see a change in water direction. This is called tidal current reversal. It happens because the massive volume of water that rushed in during high tide now has to flow back out to sea. As the tide goes out, water flows away from shore. As the tide comes in, water flows back towards shore. This shifting current causes the water to change direction several times a day. The Hopewell Rocks are shaped by the extreme tides that erode the base of the cliffs. Over time, the constant erosion carves out caves and arches, eventually isolating tall pillars from the cliff wall to produce these flower pot-shaped sea stacks. Tip number 4, the ocean floor is very muddy and your shoes will get dirty. So, bring footwear you don't mind getting messy, preferably waterproof boots. There's a wash station just by the entrance for you to wash off the mud afterwards. The bay is muddy because the huge tides constantly stir up soft mud from the seafloor, and rivers add even more sediments that never get time to settle. 6 hours ago, I was walking down there on mud flats. Now I'm looking now at kayaks floating where my footprints were. Tomorrow, someone else will walk exactly where they're kayaking right now. That's the wonder of the Bay of Fundy. Leading us to tip number 5. It's highly recommended to book kayaking tours early as they fill up fast, especially during peak season. If you want to see a time lapse of the water coming in, check out this video here. Thanks for watching and see you soon.